Hello and welcome to part 2 of my Excel tutorials. This one is going to be on how to create a bar graph using Excel. I'm going to be working with the same lettuce seedling growth data that we worked on formatting this table in part 1. Okay, so to do this you want to make sure you are, I'm going to show you how to make a bar graph that is where you manually enter the data. There's probably, sometimes you can get away with allowing Excel to create the table for you and it works, but often it doesn't, so you need to manually enter the data, and that's the way I'm going to show you. You want to make sure that you are not clicked anywhere on your table. You're going to click somewhere outside of your data, and you want to do Insert, go over to the Chart area, and go to the vertical bar charts. It'll give you a drop-down menu, and you're going to pick the first one. What you should come up with here is a blank rectangle, and this is where your chart's going to go, your bar graph is going to go. If you right-click in here, you're going to go down to Select Data, and you'll get this box. So the first thing you want to do is add each of these means separately. So for a bar graph, we just want to graph the means, not the raw data. So we're going to do Add Series Name. I'll type the name of the first one, which is fresh garlic. And for series values, I'm going to delete this and pick the mean for fresh garlic and hit OK. I'm going to add the next one, which is crushed sprouted leaf. Delete that, grab the mean, okay, and then finally I'm going to do the control and then hit OK. Okay, so we have the kind of the skeleton of our bar graph here. There's a couple changes that I need to make. First, I want to work on these axes. So I'm going to go over to this plus sign, and you can check or uncheck any of these. We don't need a chart title because we're going to be doing one of these text boxes on top of it. We do need axes titles. If you wanted to, you could put in data labels, which would show the numbers that these represent. I don't want that. You could have a data table. Error bars we're going to do later, but we do want a legend. You could do a trend line, but I'm not going to do that for this. Okay, so next thing is I don't need this one right here, so I'm just going to delete that. For this case, we could just call this experimental groups. For the title, this is seedling growth, and we always want to have a unit, which is going to be millimeters plus or minus 1 millimeter is our uncertainty. And like I was saying before, instead of this, we can do, if you saw my first tutorial on the tables, and I would like to put in the fancier plus or minus, which is this one. I think it looks better. Oops. Okay, I put in 2 of them. Okay, so our axes look good. Next thing we want to do is you can also play around with the y-axis here. So I'm going to play around with that by clicking on it, left-clicking, right-clicking, and then going to Format Axes. There's a bunch of things you can do. Let's say I only wanted this to go up to 20. I could do maximum 20. And if you change your mind, you could also always do reset. But if you notice, it changes the look of my data a little bit. If you wanted your units to be different, instead of going every 2, you can have them go every 3. But I think I'm just going to keep it at the original for now. I just wanted to show you how that worked. Okay, the other thing is, since we have whole numbers here, I would like my axes to be whole numbers. So I'm going to go down to number and decimal places. I'm going to do 0. And, okay. Oh, there it goes. Went down to 0. Okay. All right, so now that we have that, we're gonna work on the error bars. So I'm gonna click on my first bar, go back to the plus sign, and I'm gonna get rid of this. Okay, go back to the plus sign, go down to error bars, but don't check the box. We're gonna check on this gray triangle on the right, and go to More Options, custom down here and specify value. So again, we're doing the error bars manually. You can check the box, but it most likely is not going to put in the right numbers for you. Specify value, and here you're going to enter the values for the standard deviation. So you're going to clear that box and then click the standard deviation for the fresh garlic. Same thing here, also the standard deviation, which is 0.99. Okay, so down here, if the mean is 4.1, this error bar, the error bar above the bar, should be 0.99 above it, which should go approximately to 5, which it does. And it should go 0.99 below it, which should go approximately to 3, which it does. Okay, so you should always check that it looks okay. I'm going to do that with the rest of them really quick. More options. Let me do that again. I need to get rid of this. Error bars, more options. Custom, specify value. I'm going to grab standard deviations. Okay. And the last one. Okay, so error bars are done. The only thing I need is another text box like I have up here. So I'm going to go to Insert, Text, Text Box. You have the funny looking cursor. Drag it so it's about the same width as your graph. Just going to adjust this a little bit. I'm going to call this Figure 2. So first thing, just like in the table, it should be a description of what's in your chart here. And I'm going to call this lettuce seedling growth under treatment of garlic used as a bioassay. And the next thing is these error bars down here could be any type of error bar. Some people use standard error for error bars. We are using standard deviation for our error bars, so that needs to be stated. Error bars are standard deviation, and sample size for each group is n equals 10. Okay, my text box is a little tall, so I'm going to bring it back down, and I think that looks good. So that's how to make a bar graph.